Fitz fucking sports news. Lit like a torch, ooh. Handsome like a Tom Cruise. Slick like some church shoes. The digital truth, turn the fit for you. Spit by a sports dude. It's Fitz fucking sports news.
Hey guys, welcome to Fitz fucking sports news. I'm your host Fit. Along with me, I got Mostradamus.
What's up, guys?
We're gonna give you a little legacy action. We're just gonna stick with legacy today.
Gotcha.
We're not gonna go along with anything. We're gonna talk about what's going on in legacy, the culture of legacy. I do have a message for Pandora today, so.
Nothing for Dynasty, though? Or can they learn something?
I feel like Dynasty's kind of got a good thing going.
They're
I'll be
good.
honest with you. Like, I really like... I do check those chats and, like... They're firing away. They're blasting each other on the trade block. Like, I think it's... What they're doing over in 2K is great.
I'm excited for their new offseason.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're doing great. Pandora, just hear a lot of statements that are negative towards Pandora. Let's just say it like that.
Oh, I've had
Okay.
some.
Yeah. And Pandora users have had it, and have said it. So that's kind of, I'm like, yeah, I got something to say.
We can keep pushing it.
I got something to say about that.
Good, I want to hear
Okay.
it. I want to hear it.
We're going to talk about that later, though. Not right now. Hey, let's see if we can get Brian on for old time's sake, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just why not? Are we still recording while we're messaging?
Yeah, we're still
Alright, cool. Sweet. So we're gonna figure that out. Also, I like what Mocha, Cheesy, and Potato are doing with their podcast. It's always entertaining.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing really well over there as well. I enjoyed listening to those. But as far as legacy's going, I like how fast we're moving along.
We are going pretty
I
quickly.
think people are really excited. This is year 4 now?
Yep.
People are starting to get really excited about what their teams are doing, how they're built. I know me personally, you as well. We're really happy with our teams
Yeah.
at this stage, and I know there's a lot of other users that are feeling the same way. And
I
you
know.
can feel it. Like, games are like... That's the sound of games happening.
I've actually caught more heat from my team this year than I have in any Madden past.
Or yes, because we're getting better at making our teams.
I think I'm just doing things this year that other people are looking at and going,
Shit.
well, yeah, one. But two, like, who moves on from an 88 overall quarterback with 91 speed? So I think everyone looks at that and they're just like, you just don't want to spend that. Like, I think people that really are looking at me and going, you're just trying to avoid big contracts, which this year,
Sure.
I'm
Fine.
I'm screwed. But it's not true. That's just
No,
not a
but-
true comment.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even if that is the case, yes, true. If that's a problem because you're not winning more games, then fine. But when you're doing this and you're winning more games, just
Well,
stop it. Stop it.
I mean,
Just
a good gym. I don't want to get away from the fact of what this really is. And what this really is, when we started doing SPA or MSPA back in the day, was we wanted to be GMs. We did not like the way that the GMs of our teams currently were orchestrating our clubs, and we're like, what would happen if we got power? Like, if we were able to do this ourselves. So I understand that a lot of people are like, I wouldn't have traded Kyler. I wouldn't even give the other dude a shot. Like, that's stupid.
Right.
You did it because Madden made that guy better or whatever. You know what? I still approach this job, and I put that in quotations, this job of the GM, exactly how I feel like I want to do it in real life. And how do you do it in real life? You put these motherfuckers on a practice field, you're like, yo, let's see what you got, and people raise eyebrows. Like, there's guys out there that just move the meter. And if that's the case, I want to have the ability to kind of do that. And so when people are like, yo, you just did this for the money? No. I did this because I was winning. Now, there's other teams in our league this year that had no reliable backup or somebody to take over that job, and they just moved on from their quarterback because they didn't want to spend the money. That is a difference. I didn't do that. I had somebody that was winning and starting for me, and I no longer needed my guy. Like, So I guess I'm just a little frustrated. So I need to get that off my chest because I have caught.
I'm glad we were
hate
able
this
to
year.
provide the platform here.
Yeah, I've caught a lot of crap this year for that.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck them
Haters
guys.
gonna hate.
They are gonna
Straight
hate.
from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero needs his theme music.
Oh, there you
know,
go.
Kanye West, right? Yeah. So haters hate on. We need you. We need you in our lives. Anyway, yeah. Legacy though, it is going like.
It is
quick.
going well.
Like on notice, like people are noticing how fast we're getting through games.
So one of the things that got said the other day regarding this subject was somebody was like, "Hey, now that the football season's over, I expect everything's gonna die out a little bit, like because everyone kind of gets
Now
off."
we have football.
But I was like, that's just never been the case with Legacy because I feel like our season in game speeds up as soon as the real football season's over because this is like everybody's like, this is how I get football.
Well,
like,
yeah, and I might purposely wait to play my games to wait as long as I can to get that week, 17 upgrade. I can't play today or tomorrow, but hey, Tuesday sounds great. Tuesday, anytime Tuesday, we're good.
So we've never experienced that. So for us, it's always kind of ramped up, but it's been interesting because I feel like Legacy's done that, and Pandora has done the opposite. Like, it just kind of seems like there's just not a lot of games going on.
So here's currently what the kind of culture of Pandora is to me.
Mm-hmm.
You watch NASCAR?
No.
Okay.
Well, but I know NASCAR. They go left.
NASCAR, they have it used to be the Winston Series and the Busch Series. Right? Okay, there was the top ones, the one right underneath. The top ones were going the one underneath, like even some of the best ones. Your Treys, your Grady's, they would go down and they would play in that bottom one, right? But these other guys that were, there would be maybe 3 or 4 guys cycling and competing with those other ones, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of pushing, that's, Pandora's kind of that right now. They're the Busch Grand National Series to the Winston Cup Series. And again, I have no clue what it's called now. I watched in the 90s, I was NASCAR in the
Gordon.
90s. Yeah, fuck Jeff Gordon, man. Probably one of the greatest drivers ever drove a car ever. But, yeah. And I'm a Ford fan, so fuck Jeff Gordon. Even though I have a Chevy truck. And I love my truck. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm getting the feel. But, that's kind of what the Pandora users are allowing to happen. I was going to wait for this. Fuck it. Pandora users and members, you guys make the league what it is. Okay? When Legacy started, it was probably 24 prominent guys with 8 would kind of cycle in and out. We've slowly but surely really found our 32 or whatever. Again, a couple sprinkle in and out. Some teams might go, they might need to leave or whatever, but for the most part, it's solid 24 to 28 solid guys that just okay, here's the deal, here are the rules, here's what we want to see, and then we held each other accountable in a the way you're supposed to do it. We would DM each other, hey, I think this is against the rules. Here's the rule. Here's what it looked like. Here's what you've done already, or here's what this situation is. And we talk about it. When there was a disagreement, all right, hey, I'm going to hit up my rep, get his opinion on it. We would then do that. And the rules the culture then and the environment kind of set itself where we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We about know what a game in Legacy looks like. It's got a Sunday feel to it, really. It's a sim feel to it. And we made that happen. That wasn't a magic fairy came in and oh, this is nice. And just magic made that happen. No, our choices made that happen. And you are going to get out of Pandora what you put into Pandora. Yeah.
I guess what frustrates me about Pandora is it gets a lot of hate because it's compared to Legacy. But you were with us when we started the original league, like when we really started getting it going and stuff, right?
It was a shit show.
It took
Miami Dolphins.
Bro, it took so long for us to get to the point where we were like, yo, this is something
Right.
that's special. Like, it takes a while.
Right.
So, when I look at Pandora and the structure that they have and where they're at as a league, not
Way
even through a full
further
year
along. Yeah,
yet,
way
they are
further along.
so much
Yeah.
further along than Legacy ever was.
Yeah.
But they want a lot of users, and it's not everybody, because there's a lot of good Pandora users, but I don't know if it's some of the Legacy users that are over there that are like, yo, this is just my B League, like, and so they're kind of giving off a vibe that I care more about this other one than I care about.
This is my warm-up
or,
league for the big...
Yeah, or if it's users that are coming in that they just don't understand everything that's going on. I feel like they try to compare themselves to Legacy, and when they do that, they're like, well, fuck, this is the B League, so we'll treat it like the B League. But you're on a course with where you're starting that you should be better at some point than Legacy ever got to, or at least on par, because the commissioners aren't favoring one league over the other.
Right.
We talk about Legacy and Pandora.
Right.
I mean, we don't even talk about, like, leagues. Like, I can't even remember the last time that in our commissioners group we sat down and we're like, hey, let's talk about just one league.
One league,
We
really.
we just talk about we just call it the league. Like, the league has the same rules.
Right.
The league is all running exactly the same. So
we just have 64 teams instead of 32.
instead of 32. So it's not like the commissioners team is doing anything to differentiate the two.
No.
When you get into, and I don't want to put anybody on blast, when you get into the rep rooms, there's definitely a difference of of communication that goes on between those rooms.
Yeah.
And
I think, again, that's something we need to talk. Combining those rooms, I think some of the Pandora reps would benefit seeing how that Legacy rep room looks.
Well,
because they talk, again, I think both can do better.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about that. But they do a much better job of kind of coming to a solution and talking things out than the Pandora chat. No offense to anyone, it's just observationally, that's how I'm seeing it.
So when we first started and we had like the division reps and then we had one commissioner, it was 8 reps for 8 divisions and then just me as the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
And then Moni did such a great job with the site and doing all of those behind the things. I was like, you're not even like a rep at this point. Like, you're just doing a job I don't know how to do. And we're like co-teaming it. So then she became a commissioner. We had another rep. And then Brian did the same thing graphic-wise, and he was doing all these crazy things. So we're like, bro, you're doing more than everybody else. Let's like you commissioners. Then it was 3 commissioners and 8 reps. And then we brought you in. Like, and we had like this constant... We're just continuing to like grow. And then it got to a point where I was like, there's so many voices in this chat going off that it just kind of seems like it's drowning out. So then we went to this way, and we're like, let's separate the leagues. We'll have 4 reps for one side, 4 reps for the other, so still 8 reps total. They can discuss their own leagues separately and they'll go. But then what I notice now is there's not enough talking. So I felt like before... Like, we got to the point where it was just too many talking heads and too many people, like, wanting to voice opinions, and that just didn't accomplish anything because everybody wanted to be heard, but nobody wanted to listen. And then you get to this point, it's like, well, no one has anything to say because there's not enough dialogue going back and forth to spark up conversations at times.
Yeah, quite honestly, too, what I've noticed, it's the 5 commissioners talking the most in these chats, and it's like, well, we have a chat for
Which
this.
is a job I can't.
Right,
I don't want to
do. Like there's some data input, the drafts and that kind of thing that we do, the tokens and stuff. And then overseeing, just making sure that everybody's kind of doing their job. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we are reps and we are commissioners no offense to anyone.
And I don't necessarily think that that's the rep's fault. Like, I think we took these jobs because we like doing these jobs. And then we see things happening, we're like, well, we want to voice our opinions.
We do too much sometimes.
Yeah, and then we just kind of... We're the product of why I think those happen, because we enjoy those jobs.
Yeah,
and then,
it's so true.
And then
I can't keep my mouth shut sometimes.
Yeah, so then we just keep going, and then we get to a point where we're like, well, let's not say anything, and let's see if they do it. And then they're on the other side, and they're like, but you guys have been, like, controlling this for, like, the last 4 months.
Yeah, that's so true.
So, that's where, like, at times I want to be very careful with how I voice my opinion or where I voice my opinion. I don't always want to be the guy that brings things up because then I'm relied to bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the guy that posts a poll every time that it comes up, or else a poll never gets posted unless Mo posts it. So
Right.
I think over the last year, since the last time I quit doing this job and then came back, I've really tried to focus on my lane. And my lane is working on the website, doing the interviews, being in everybody's DMs and being like, hey, how are you doing? Like, and kind of being that voice, voicing my opinion when people are asking me. But I know last time I got burnt out because I took on too much. Like, and I was putting myself in all of these things and it wasn't fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so this year I'm still having fun. Like, I'm not at the point yet that I want to step down, but I know that that's because I've really focused on what my job is, and that's kind of just where I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really hope that the reps hear this and they're like, you know what? I signed up for these roles. And that's the other thing is I want people to understand that this is a community-based project and not just the commissioners oversee everything and they're the ones that get things done. Like when you sign up to be on the trade committee or you sign up to be a rep or you sign up to be a commissioner, you're signing up to help lead a community. So I don't want to
lead the community.
Yeah, I don't want to see those leaders jump into roles where they're supposed to be leading and then just start following. Like,
Right.
I'd still like to see them.
Yeah,
continue
because
to lead.
that's the whole point. It's like we're asking you to do this so that you can be an active member and a voice for your other members.
Yeah, it can't just be like a status thing.
No, it's not. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah.
And there are some, I don't want, and I say this, and I know that the reps are listening to this right now, like, yo, you're putting us on blast. Guys, these guys are great reps. Like, when the commish team just allows them to do the jobs that they know how to do, these guys, I think, work really well.
You know what room works the best? The trade committee.
The trade committee is phenomenal.
They fly through those and they give reason, they vote, bam, bam, bam. They killed the legacy off season.
They like working together as a team.
Yeah, and they communicate. Grady really kind of orchestrates that room pretty well. But they do. They work really well together. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we keep them... maybe just add another room where all the reps are in one. If we need it.
No, I'm a fan of them constantly talking to each other. And the thing that I also like about the reps being together is there's going to be more... what's the word I'm looking for? There's going to be a similarity then between the leagues. So if one person breaks a rule, it's not like, well, we have to discuss the whole new thing. It should help eliminate conversations or kind of speed them up because then they're not having the same conversation in two different rooms. They can just have one. If one person does this in one, hey, you know what? This happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago in Legacy. This is how they did it. Let's just do the same thing. It totally continues their...
And you know what I like too? It actually outnumbers our votes as commissioners, and I like that.
Yeah.
So the reps have, there's 8 reps total throughout the...
Yeah,
right?
8, 4,
So that would be 8 votes to 5. I like that too. And maybe sometimes we wouldn't even need to vote. I would prefer that as well.
I remember when we first started, the reps had every vote, and the commission was just a tie-breaking vote. Right. Like, if you guys go 4-4 and split this thing, then I'll voice in my opinion and we'll go with mine. You know how many times we ever used that tie-breaking vote?
Like never.
Never.
Yeah.
I never had to use my tie-breaking vote.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had, like, a lot of split votes. Like, it was mostly, like, 7-1.
Yeah.
8-0.
Usually it's not, and that's the thing. That's the thing with the community, too. We all have a general idea of what this is supposed to look like, and when things go away from it, it's a red flag, and, you know, that just speaks to the culture of what we have here. Like, oh, no, that's against the rules, and, like, everybody's pretty much, you know, voice their opinion. They're, oh, yeah, that's right. It's against our rule.
All right, let me ask you a question. If you were a member of just Pandora, and you weren't a rep, you weren't a commissioner, you weren't on the trade committee, nothing, you were just a member, and you're hearing this podcast, and you're like, well, I want Pandora to be the same exact thing, Legacy, or better, what steps would you be taking to help get that there? Like, what should these guys be doing to help get this thing on par?
Patience you must have. No, one, be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gonna, time will do that. But two, watch legacy games. Not only that, watch your guys like Trey, watch Grady, watch Nick, these guys who play really good sim football and they do it at a high level. You have to start emulating what some of the best players are doing. Otherwise, like, what you're gonna stay in your box. You're never gonna get any better. That would be my thing. Like, shut up and watch. Like, you want it to be this, don't say anything. And I think Pandora's made of maybe a younger crowd, maybe
A little bit
younger crowd. I think a lesson can be learned there of, like, sometimes you got to just sit back and watch. Okay, again, this is something we've been doing for years. This is, CFM is instilled in all of us now, especially the way that we've done it here in MSPA. Like, that's the standard, and we just we don't need to think about it, So go into the legacy streams. Guys in legacy, posting the game stream so that Pandora users can watch that. Pandora users, pay attention when you're playing Trey, when you're playing Nick. Bobby's a user as well. Pay attention to these guys who are in both of these leagues and who have been here for a couple of years now. Pay attention, see what they're doing. I'm never a big fan of complaining. Don't complain, because what's it really going to do? Like, you're complaining about some sort of problem, fix your problem.
Right.
Figure out what that problem is. Well, this is slightly different. Okay. You are in control of that. This is your league. Like, our league is made up of our actions, right? Like, your actions aren't matching up. So watch what we're doing and start having those things match up. Ask these guys. Ask Mo. Send him a DM if you're a Pandora user. Hey, what can I do to build my team? Go to these guys. Check out the Legacy Daddy League site. Which teams do you like? Go ask those guys what they're doing to build their teams in. Okay? Again, this isn't like magic. This shit just happens because we wish it does. We're out there doing things. We're, how are we looking at deals? How are we looking at when we're playing our games? I built my team to do something. What is it that I built them to do? And then go and do that, Check the legacy teams, which ones are doing the similar things that you want to do. What do you do you want these big, can catch wide receivers, that physical guys that you can just throw it up and catch it? Do you want a running game? Is it, you want a power running game or like a power back? Go check out Lampard. He's done nothing but have like the best running back in the league like every single season. And he said Josh Jacobs one of the slowest guys in the league, So like, you have plenty of examples. Like, do something about it. Check it.
My whole thing is, it's like a pride thing. Like, when we started with Legacy, we were wanting to build something. Like, we all were in the same boat. We all were rowing in one direction.
Yeah, what was the goal of when we started? We want to be the sim franchise league in all of Madden. Across the board, we want to be the gold standard, what everybody looks at, and we went and made it happen.
Right, and we all did. Like, even as we were losing members, the people we were bringing in had the same vision.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I agree. They need to be in the ears of longtime veterans, these new guys, to kind of learn the ropes. But, two, have some pride. Like, don't come into Pandora and be like, well, this is just the B League and the other one's here, and we're not going to work hard to do this. Like as a commissioner here, I have a lot of pride with what we've built, and it bothers me sometimes when I see some of these guys that are in the league, and it just doesn't feel like they care. Like, it's like you, and maybe it's because they don't understand. Maybe it's because they just don't understand how much work was put into
all
this
the
entire
work.
thing. Like, and it's not even just the work for Legacy.
Yeah.
We put in so much work to get Pandora
Started.
to go.
Yeah.
Like,
That was like a thing for years. We've been
yeah.
just brainstorming over how can we get the second league started? What can we do to get
Mhm.
another league in? Finally, I mean, it took like 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
to
that was
finally
a
make it
huge
happen.
goal for us to want to build something where it's like we can house more than one. And at this
Yeah.
point, I would like to add on a third league at some point with Next Gen. Like, I would love for Pandora to get to the point where I'm like, yo, this is going exactly how we wanted it to go. Let's add on a Next Gen league for like 2 seasons before 22 comes out. I would love for that to happen.
Mhm.
I just don't know if they're going to get to a point, because I refuse to do a third league ever until Pandora and Legacy are like the same fucking
Mhm.
thing, until they're both operating on the same level with the same type of community with the same involvement. When we can do that, I will 100% be on board to help get a third
And-
league going for Next Gen.
Yeah, and it starts with us. I mean,
Mhm.
we're the ones in getting these guys into the league. We're doing the interviews and stuff like that. So it starts with us. But then once you guys are in, like, it's on you now.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't just give us a good interview, tell us what you. Yeah, I read the rules, and then your first game, you clearly didn't read any of the rules because you're breaking damn near every single one of them. We do
Yeah.
not play lobby ball around here. Get your bullshit out of here because we don't have time for it. Like,
Yeah.
we know. You stick out like a sore thumb if you didn't read those rules, and you don't.
Oh, it's
If
not
you don't
even
play
close.
by those rules, we know. Everyone knows. Oh my gosh, it's cringeworthy to watch.
It looks so much different because the games are so long, so there's so many opportunities for you to show that you did not
Mm-hmm.
read what you said you read. And what bothers me is you get these guys in the interview and they're like, yo, I've been watching you guys for a year. Like, I've wanted to be a part of something like this for so long. Like, they give you like this heartfelt,
Yeah.
like, I just want to be a part of something that you guys are building here. And then it's like, okay, the only thing that matters then, if that's what you want to do, your part then is to get these rules down. They're like,
It's how you play the game.
they're like, I got it. I'll go through the rules 100 times before my first game. Like, I really want to do this. And then they get to the first game, and like they're following none of the rules.
Mhm.
They're running all over the place with the linebacker. They're not
Mhm.
maintaining their coverages.
Mhm.
They're hike and hauling. They're doing
Mhm.
all of these like cheesy things.
Mhm.
And you get in there at the end, you're like, yo, did you read the rules? Yeah, I read the rules. Well, you're breaking like every one of them.
It's like, thank you for telling me you read the rules, because there's a vote on removal for you because
Yeah.
you just got here and you broke 20 rules in one game.
In a half.
And a half. I'm gonna have to watch the whole thing.
It's
So,
like, yo.
and we talked about it. Maybe some bets out there. Again, I know this is it's a video game. You don't need to put in more than you want to, but maybe hit up a new user and just be like, hey man, I saw this, and this. You can do this a little differently, and not everything needs to be like come with a you're pissed off. Like, yeah. The other thing about this is we're 6 years into this.
Uh-huh.
6 years of us getting used to the rules. For a lot of people coming in, this is a brand new world that
Yeah.
you're playing. This is no longer the game of checkers that you play with your 99 overall mutt team. This is chess that you're now I might have a 74 overall wide receiver out there, or like this. What am I going to do to protect that guy or do this? Or, it's just a different world. So maybe kind of helping those new guys along of like, hey, this is...
It's what we used to do.
Yeah.
We used to do
Yeah.
that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something we probably should get back into.
And I like the rule quiz, too.
Mhm.
Having
I
new
still
guys
have that.
come in, and you have to take a quiz, and you have to pass the quiz before you... And maybe doing it, like, before every start of every cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Just have everybody take it as, like, a yearly training type of thing. And quick, 10, 15 questions. What is it, 20 questions?
Mm-hmm.
And be done, It's important enough.
Yeah, I think it was a 30 for 30.
Yeah. Might even see, like, do we have some guys that are, like, willing to play some head-to-head online games against some new users to just kind of, if anything, not a not a, hey, you're breaking every rule, but a training type of deal. Like, we get in the same party chat, and it's you play a game of 5-minute quarters, and you're really just kind of going through how to play the style of play that we're asking for. You know, maybe something like that, like commissioner or rep or something. Some vet might want to do that. I don't know.
To be honest, I expect that from all of our members.
Yeah.
I expect everybody that's a part of the SPA community to be looking at each other and being like, yo, how can I help this other person? Right? Like, that's what SPA was founded on from the beginning. Like, when Chef had his issue with the playground set being stolen, everyone was like, yo, let's donate. That's what SPA is about.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like that on the field, too. Like, when you see guys that aren't doing it well, like, you're supposed to be in their DMs and being like, hey, yo, I'm not a commissioner or anything, but I just want you to know, like, this is something that isn't kosher. And you start building relationships that way. And I think a lot of the things we're dealing with now is you get a lot of legacy users who are like, bro, this guy's not a fit because he's not doing anything like how our league is going. And we're 6 years in now. You're right. Like, that guy's
kind of like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Yeah, that guy's,
like,
but he's also brand new. And has anybody reached out to him? Like, has anybody reached out to this guy, been like, hey, I've been watching some of your games, and some of the stuff you're doing is not kosher? And you'll get everybody back. And I'm like, nah, I've done that. But that's what we did 6 years ago.
Right. Yeah, Brad helped me quite a bit when I first started.
Yeah.
He was my rep. And I was in his... He probably was sick of me by the time the first cycle ended, because I was in his DM all the time. Like, hey, so I did this in my game. Can you check this? Can you watch this? This happened. Was this right? You know, I was constantly asking him questions because he had been in CFM leagues, you know, sim leagues years before I even started. Yeah, so I immediately was like, okay, tell me everything, what's going on, like... So I got that information. He gave it to me, you know. So you're right. That's something.
It's something we used to do a lot. And even, I won't speak for anybody else but myself. I used to be in people's DMs helping them with the rules a hell of a lot more than I am. But the role of commissioner is a lot more hands-on.
Right.
With the stuff that we're doing today than what we were doing 6 years. I mean, 6 years ago's Daddy League page was completely default, no custom graphics, no custom anything. Like, and Moni had to go, like, she did that all on her own, so that wasn't stuff that we were doing. So it just, we've kind of grown, but I feel like we still are who we are. Like, SPA has never changed. Like, we're still the community that we created.
Right.
But I do think we're starting to get a little... what's the word?
Exclusive?
I think some of our
we're kind of like a country club where it's like we're being very our noses are very up in the air to new members.
And we're like just not a fit. Like, well, where's the work?
Right.
Like, and it's like, well, this kid's like 24. Well, 6 years ago I was only 28.
Yeah. I was about his age.
Yeah, like
6 years ago when I started, right? And I didn't know.
I didn't know a fucking thing. Like, so like that's my point. Like, I don't want to put a finger pointed at anybody. I think as a collective group, SPA's community in general, it's
great.
It's great. Yeah, it's great, and it's just kind of gone and organically grown. But I don't want to ever forget how this all started, because I feel like once we start becoming like a little bit snobbish with our nose in the air and being like, yo, this is legit, and it is, like, we still have to mature that. You still have to grow it. Like, I don't look at this and being like, this is as far as we're going to grow. I don't want to max out at 100 members and be like, let's just get the best 100 in here that we can. Like, no, grow it as much as you want to grow, but let's really grow these guys. And for those hearing this that's new, you have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Like, and ask questions.
Right. And that's I think both sides can kind of come together.
Yeah, it's not just one group. It's not just the commissioners, or it's just the reps, or it's just Pandora, or it's just Legacy. Like, as an entire community, we all could be doing a better job to grow this the way that we want to grow.
Ask not what your community can do for you, but what you can do for your community.
Yep.
We must have a hands-on approach.
You must.
All right. Ain't nothing gonna get done. that's really all I have to say about that. Other than that, I've enjoyed coming back.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
It's been a joy for me to be back. This is the best Madden we've had in a while. I know it's still broken, but
I love this game.
It's not terrible.
So
it's understandable, at least. Like the way it works makes sense more so than other years to me. But
so I think I was getting frustrated with the game because I mean everybody gets frustrated with the game, and I wasn't frustrated on the field, but I do get frustrated when I hear things from certain people that know how the game is supposed to be working or that work on the game, and you have these conversations back and forth like, hey, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And it's like, well, probably not. It's like, well, come on.
It's like, hey, turns out we don't actually know what we're doing.
So I do get frustrated, but then I've been doing this podcast with Lee Grawler, and you get guys on like Shotmaster. I just had Madden players on, MP. And these are guys that are high in the community, and they have some really good points on why the game actually is the best football game we've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, on the field, this is... Yeah. We get people are frustrated, but you cannot look at this version or last version when in our season we were getting like 40 sacks a season and be like last year's game was better. It wasn't.
No.
Like, not even close.
No. No, I mean, it's still got its glitches, but what game doesn't?
Well, I think the biggest complaint... my biggest complaint that I hear from is probably Alex, where he's like, I don't understand why your 70 overall quarterback's better than my 88 overall superstar. I don't know either, bro. I don't know why my 70 overall quarterback was better than my 88 overall superstar that I had, but he was. Like,
right. Well, I honestly think whether you guys know it or not, your philosophy within the game changed as soon as you made that quarterback change.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in you changed how you played the game because I did the exact same thing. I had Ben Roethlisberger, Matthew Stafford, and just the way I played with them. Same thing happened last year. Soon as I got the quarterback that I deemed was going to be Jalen Early, I completely changed the way I played. I played so much better because my mindset was different as soon as that quarterback change was made. So like I wasn't making the same plays I was making with that. And I'm almost going to guarantee you guys are making different choices now that you've switched quarterbacks.
I can't speak for anybody but myself, but I'll tell you, we've played a lot of like Call of Duties or PUBGs and all these together. Am I a very good shooter when it comes to these games?
I don't. Your skills do not render in my mind.
They're not very good. Like I'm good. So when me and Chris used to play PUBG with our boys, what would happen is the three of them would constantly be looking in one direction, and I would be the guy be like, I'm making sure no one comes from behind us.
Yeah.
Which means I'm rarely shooting. I'm rarely giving away our position. I'm not I'm just not.
He's a good lookout.
I'm good at my tasks.
We need your camera.
Yeah, I need to make sure I don't get shot in my back. So, like, I know my role and what I'm good at. Now, when I play Call of Duty, I'm a perennial, 10-10 kill-death ratio. Like, it's a 1.0 for me. Now, some of our friends that we play with are, at a 4.8, and they're killing it. Kush and all them are dominating.
Yeah.
So, when I look at Call of Duty compared to Madden, it's kind of how I view Kyler Murray compared to Jeremiah Jackson. Kyler Murray... You need those guys that can get the 4.8 kill-death ratios that are thinking really fast on their trigger. And they know when to hit the right trigger to take off. And they know when to throw the button. There's just so much work that goes into having a mobile quarterback to make sure that he's playing at a really high level with all of these features you have. And I'm an old school gamer, I guess, and I'm just not as quick on my trigger finger. And so it led to a ton of sacks or a ton of quarterback pressures where I'm now throwing with a guy in my face and I'm throwing picks. And I'm doing these. So with Jeremiah, he doesn't have all of those fancy tools.
The game.
I just dumbed it down for myself where it's just call hike and throw to the open guy. You can't do anything else.
Fucking throw it.
And that has helped me play the quarterback position better, so he's been a better quarterback for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not doing as much.
No, I'm not, because I'm slow on the sticks.
Right. Right. It's like that's the I guarantee if you played Kyler like he was Jeremiah Jackson,
He'd probably be.
just as good, if not
Yep.
better. And that's just, that's how
It's really hard though to have 91 speed
I
and
know.
not want to use it.
I understand. I understand. I actually messaged Terps after one of his games just to kind of like, hey, I understand what you have. I get it. Fun new toy, but hey, just kind of watch some plays here.
That
and
dude
there
flies.
because, it's getting a little out of hand. But yeah, I get it. I understand. Once you have it, just like once I got Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Best believe there's going to be some 9 routes being called. Send them!
Yeah, he going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I get it.
But I am having a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun year game-wise I've ever had.
Yeah. It's great. You know what? This season, 3-0, I'm not playing well. And I'm 3-0. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. You know? I shouldn't say I'm not. It's not that I'm not playing. When you get the ball on the 35-yard,
Yeah.
like
I hear it.
your opponent's 35, it's like.
Yep. Or you just run it back in for touchdowns.
Yeah. Or that too, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Minka Fitzpatrick is a monster.
Season.
If the ball pops into the air, he's coming down with it.
Yeah. As soon as it hits, it goes up in the air. Just wait.
Yeah, it's.
Wait. He's gonna get it.
I said it all game. I don't want to put the ball in the air in places that he can get it. But then there were spots like yesterday, like the ball floated like 10 yards across the field.
Oh, he was so
like,
bad.
Right to him.
He was like the worst.
He's the man.
Yeah. So defense is saving my ass for sure.
You
And I
have
don't have
an
to
incredible
do-
defense.
Don't have to do much on offense.
The defensive line doesn't allow you to run. They get pressure interior to the quarterback. And your corners are fast enough to cover just about anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get a nice little squad over there.
Decent. Man, those corners. Without look out.
How's the rest of your division going?
Oh, Trey's undefeated. Duh. Trey's undefeated. Grady 1-1. Just beat Calc.
There you go.
Calc. I think Calc's like trying to play like the ringer role or something. He's trying to pretend like he's like not good or something like that. And that's what he keeps saying. Oh, I'll get it back eventually. Like nobody here is pretending like you're not good at this game. So I don't know why you're over there pretending like.
Yeah, I've seen the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, but I don't think we're the best division this year to start. I mean, it's only week 3.
Mm-hmm. Who would you
But-
say is the best division?
I would say AFC West or NFC South. 7-1, 7-2. But AFC West is back. Lampard's undefeated. They're like all undefeated. And
I think you said somewhere they're like
Mike's-
7-1
yeah.
as a division.
Yeah. And then Mike's 1-1, so I think he's the only loss in there. But they're highly competitive.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll see. And it's only week 3, but not all these games.
We'll
are
see what
in.
happens when they start playing each other.
Yeah.
It's what separates the men from the boys.
The NFC East and the NFC North suck this year so far. They're 2-14 combined.
I have 2 wins against the NFC East. That's true. Beat Washington and I beat Timbo. Yep, in
Yeah.
Dallas.
No, again, 3 weeks in is so early.
Yep.
So we were
Lots of
talking
game
about-
left.
Grady, I think, was saying he started last year 1-3 and then ended up making the playoffs. So it's not such a long season. I mean, and look at your schedule. I can look at my schedule. There's probably 10 games where it's a coin flip, or something along those lines. I could win this game, I could lose this game. It could be a close game, So, it's very early. It's very interesting to see.
It's going to be a fun season.
I think so. A lot of
I'm
good
really
squads.
looking forward to this year.
A lot of good squads this year. I'm Kush starting out slow. He's 1-2. Still leading his division, but a little surprising. He's had a tough schedule.
He's got a bad quarterback too.
Yeah.
No longer has
64.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's on like $13 million right now. I'm surprised nobody. I know he's got 86 throwing power, but for one season.
Doesn't matter. His traits are good enough that that won't matter.
Right. So, I'm surprised he didn't get picked up, to be honest with you.
I'm not gonna lie. I think our league has just a distaste for anybody that's getting up in age. Like, I know he's super up in age at like 40-something.
Yeah, he's like 60 years old.
But as soon as somebody sees 29, they're like, nah, I'm good. He can go.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's old.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. Like, I've gotten most of my good players on my team. Like, and they're old as shit. Like, Stephen Gilmore is 32.
Yeah.
Darius Slay's 32. Grady Jarrett's 30. Hopkins 32. Ertz 32.
Yeah.
Evans 30.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone's like, oh, they're old. They're going to regress. That's the one I heard the most. You're going to get Gilmore, but he's going to regress.
You get a speed upgrade.
Bro, he went from 98 to 97.
Shit, he's no good anymore.
He regressed.
It looks like he's done.
Yeah, he's trash. Yeah, what am I going to do now?
What are you going to do? He went from...
How fast is he? Well, he went up. He was in 92, now he's in 93. But yeah, he's woof.
Yeah, he's dog shit now. Shit, I might take Gilmore 97 with a speed increase versus 98 and 92 speed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll take the trade. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just don't... I don't want to convince everyone, you know what, go start getting old guys, because I like that I'm not getting a lot of competition for some of these guys, but I guess I just don't view age as that big of a negative thing. Like, if you can go get 4 or 5 guys past 30, right, that still are balling, and you put them on a team, they may not be the guy that they were when they were the best guy on their team and you didn't have a lot of other people. Like Gilmore on New Orleans, for instance, is taking off one side of the field. He's going to do that the rest of his career? Maybe not, right? He might not be the best corner in the entire league on mine. But if I go get a guy outside of him like Darius Slay, who's also in the twilight of his career, going down, can they be an incredible 1-2 option? Yeah, they're probably the best 1-2 option in the entire league, because you're not relied on. I always have to take the best guy. Or I just got to put them in positions to do things really well, and they do things really well.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to do it. But yeah, Hayward's 34.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast.
He just went up to X Factor.
Did you see what he did in our game yesterday? He was getting interior pressure like it was crazy.
No, I don't even
just
pay attention.
instant shed.
I don't even worry about it.
My quarterback was screaming like a girl. If you go back and watch the thing, it was like this. Hike.
Yeah, no, I didn't pay attention to any of it.
He's a beast, dude.
I don't even watch him.
But so is Grady Jarrett. They both were doing some incredible things on each side.
I double Grady every play. It doesn't even matter. Like when the game doesn't even double, I'm like, I literally did the double thing, and one guy hit. Why did one guy hit him? You know? No, it's a.
Because the other guy was like, I don't want that smoke.
Yeah, it's like, if you just do that, it'd be fine. But they didn't. You know what's 3-0? A better start than I had last year, knock on wood. Mm-hmm. And my line is trash compared to what... Actually, my line really isn't that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was.
This year, I don't even think I'm going to finish. Looking at my record, I'm just based on who I'm playing and how they match up versus me. Not how they match teams versus team, but how I know how good this guy is versus how good I feel like I am. I see myself potentially at like 7-9. This is the hardest schedule.
I would really like that. I have your first round pick.
I
would prefer to go like 5-11.
But here's the thing. My division also has to play the exact same schedule, and I don't see Mocha going better than like 7-9 or 8-8. So I still could win my division at 7-9 this year.
Good point.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you guys aren't doing that bad. The Wild Wild West right now, you in Seattle.
It gets tough.
Mm-hmm.
It gets tough. It's going to be an interesting season. I have to play the entire AFC North.
Yeah, if you thought I was tough.
Yeah.
You got to play Grady. You have to play Grady and Trey and Calc.
But so do my divisions.
Yeah.
My division rivals, they play the same ones.
It's true.
We also play the NFC East, which I know this year aren't doing very well, but they've got some good users over there. Like,
yeah.
So-
You don't wait. It's not like they have anybody. You're like, yeah, I can't wait to play them.
when SPA first started, I remember there were divisions be like, oh yeah, you can walk through that division. Those ones are easy. There's easy games.
Because Brian was he was in Denver.
Yeah.
Right? And Brad was like the only one that he'd go to the playoffs every year.
Every year.
Like 11-5, 12-4.
Yeah, there were certain
easily.
divisions you could just kind of like walk through. There's no real easy games
No.
like anymore.
There's no more of those. I liked it when Zach, our buddy Zach, was
Cleveland.
in our division.
Mhm.
Because it was like, circle up,
He
2
went
wins,
4 seasons without winning a game.
a single game.
Never
It
won.
was the greatest. It's like, yeah, I got 2 wins right here in my back pocket. Just easy. Which weeks are they? All right, sweet. I'm going for 450 yards passing, 200 yards rushing, and I'm probably getting 6 turnovers in this game.
That's kind of how I
Can't
felt
wait.
when Evan was San Francisco.
Yeah. Evan had a couple of games where he
He
was
did.
competitive.
And he
but-
won some.
Yeah.
That was his big thing. He's like, I'm not as bad as Zach.
No, he's
I-
not. And
I
it wasn't.
will tell you.
If he would have stuck around, he's a gamer like that.
Mhm.
He can play games. He's pretty good. He would have figured it out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jacob played
Jacob's
One-
terrible.
one game. He almost beat me. I was pissed. I was convinced he gave you the sticks. I was like, dude, there's no way you're this good. I ended up beating him still, but
Mhm.
yeah.
You and Ryan was Jamaica for a while.
Yeah, and he drafted that like 94 speed safety that he loved using, and then
Mhm.
like he just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, you got the perfect player for you. He's like 5'11", super quick,
Mm-hmm.
fly all over the place with him. Because before that was no strafable. He would just fly. He would just read whatever the other team was doing. He wasn't like a top player or anything, but
No, he's good enough to compete though.
yeah, I think I beat him too.
So did I.
I think I beat all of our friends that I played in.
So why?
I like that. I like that.
Zach was Green Bay. May.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shit, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was trash too, huh? Wasn't
Yeah, was he Green Bay? I think he was.
he?
Wasn't
He was, I think. For a very short period.
Yeah, for like a year, a season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miami Dolphins.
That's where Chris started. Or Fit started was the Miami Dolphins.
I always like their uniforms.
They do have some dope uniforms. They have a dope stadium too.
Mhm. I drafted a quarterback and made him Mason Rudolph and won Rookie of the Year with him. And then traded him away like 2 seasons after. For that corner. We swapped quarterbacks. I gave him a first round pick and I got like the best corner that was ever created in Madden. He had like 97 speed. He was
Yes.
like 6'3".
I don't know. Remember when I traded Patrick Peterson over to Cool Breeze and he gave me back the created Greedy Williams?
Oh
And I was able to take him to 99 overall.
Yeah.
He was a fucking
Yeah.
monster.
Thought about just like focus training my top corner and getting him to like 99 overall.
Do it.
But I have other guys I need. Jalen needs to go to at least 85 overall. I need those other trades.
Got it.
Gotta have.
Okay, so let me ask you this, changing the subject. How do you feel like the Steelers are doing so far this offseason? Big Ben redone.
Oh my gosh. So first and foremost, the greatest situation. The only situation that would have worked out for the Steelers, whether you think Big Ben has it or not, is it coming back. If he just retires and leaves, it was a $23 million dead cap hit for nothing, and now you do. This way, it's only $15 million this year, and he's staying. He like completely is like, yeah, you don't have to pay me anything. Like just, it's, and that $15 million cap hit he's taking this year is already money he's been paid. It's prorated into this year. He's literally not making any money this year. He's just
It's
like
crazy.
he's just like, yeah, I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to keep playing. I still have it in me. Let's go win. And then it saved us $15 million in cap, I think was the
You still upset you guys didn't get JJ Watt?
It would have been cool, but he said he didn't want to play with his brother, so it is what it is. Would have been cool.
Did
though.
he say that?
Yeah. He didn't want to do it. Should have done it. That would have been a cool. Your parents could have been at every game, rooting for the same team. Like,
I saw a picture that had all 4 stadiums. It had the Steelers Stadium completely covered in snow. It had the Bills Stadium completely covered in snow. It had Green Bay Stadium completely covered in snow. Like, and those were the 3 major teams. And then it had Arizona Stadium closed off, all green field, like, because look how it is. And the top had JJ Watt smiling that said, "Mama didn't raise no fool."
Shoot, and then he got paid. He did it for nothing, so that they can go and trade Kyler Murray for Deshaun Watson. That'd be cool.
Happening.
That'd be sweet.
I wouldn't. Okay, so I wouldn't. I like Kyler Murray, but Deshaun Watson is a top 3
He's
quarterback.
elite.
Yeah,
Elite.
and I think Kyler can become that. It's an interesting conversation. Is Deshaun Watson better right now than Kyler Murray? Yes.
Head and shoulders.
Can Kyler Murray become better than Deshaun Watson? I believe he could be, especially he has more tools than what Deshaun has.
Yeah, but
you got to develop. That's the question. As a Cardinal fan, because it may not even be a realistic option, the Houston may be like, we're not trading him, like, and that's what they've said so far. And from my understanding, they're not even answering phone calls about Deshaun Watson. So I don't think they're going to try to. I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to make him sit out an entire year, and then they'll trade him the next year.
no, I think if he sits out a year, he can go wherever he wants.
They takes a year off of his contract. It won't even count. So that year that's on his deal, like, would just get prorated the next year. So, like, when he comes back, they'd be like, now this is when your contract starts. Like, that year didn't go away.
Oh, because I thought that's why Le'Veon Bell sat out a year, so that
He was saying, like, I'm not going to play. I'll retire. I'm not going to play for you. And they were like, well, we can get a second or whatever they got for him. We can get something for him, or he's just going to sit at home and not play. Deshaun Watson is about to make $200 million fucking dollars. There's zero chance that dude's going to be like, I'm retiring. You're a liar. You're going to play because you want paid.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Here's the other thing that no one's talking about. If he sits out a year, his contract is technically put on hold for that year. And we're in a pandemic. Houston just got rid of all of its best pieces. They could get a ton of things cap-wise coming in next year. So if he sits out a year, it actually helps Houston more than it helps anybody because they weren't planning on being super competitive this year anyway. They just got rid of all their best pieces. They're looking to rebuild. So what's the difference for them if they're like, yeah, let him sit home for a year, let's suck, get early draft picks, rebuild this thing as fast as possible, and then when he goes back, we get an extra year on his contract. It's brilliant for Houston. They should hope
Except
that
for Houston's not brilliant.
No, they're not.
Like, at all.
I just don't. When everyone's like they're gonna have to trade him, I just don't see that. Like, the GM in my head is I don't see a scenario where they feel like they have to trade him at all. Let him sell.
I don't know. They're gonna trade him. He won't play for them.
I think Russ gets traded.
He'll go to the Bears.
I think he's gonna
Russell Wilson to the Bears. Make it happen.
I read a report yesterday that says it's practically locked in at this point that he is going to go to Chicago.
Yes. Make it happen. Bring the cheerleaders back, Chicago. You've been cursed ever since.
How do you feel about Washington getting rid of their cheerleaders and going diverse with male and female cheerleaders?
Oh, no. Football teams shouldn't have cheerleaders or dance teams. There's no room for it. Steelers don't have them. But the Bears need them because they've been cursed ever since they didn't have cheerleaders. They won in '85. The very next season, they got rid of cheerleaders.
They haven't won since.
Not a thing.
You gotta bring them cheers.
Haven't had a
but-
quarterback. Well, since well before McNown was not good.
No. That defense was incredible.
Sweetness was incredible. Walter Payton. But yeah, no. They've been cursed. Gotta bring him back.
Did you see that Brandon Marshall just said on his podcast or whatever that he thinks that OBJ will get traded to Arizona?
Oh, that would be nice. Because he could be a solid number 2. He's not a number 1 anymore, in my opinion.
Oh, I think he would.
But
do
he'd be great
incredible
number 2.
things.
He'd be a great number 2 with Hop.